Hey everybody, welcome back. So this is the video that is we've been waiting to do.
This is going to tell you exactly why we shouldn't be doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah. This is going to make a lot of you think that maybe we shouldn't be on trail, but trust me, I'm going to start with our challenges and some of the solutions that we have for our challenges. And then I'm going to finish on our positives, like the things that we do have going for us that make us believe that we can actually do this. Um, so one of our biggest challenges is I have severe anaphylactic food allergies, and they're severe. I have to like I've had reactions to where your regular hospital things weren't working. They had to kind of think outside the box to pull me out of a severe, almost dead.
I was going to say, wasn't
Yeah,
the one on the island? What was it?
that was the dairy.
No, but what was the numbers for your heart?
Oh, I can't even remember. There was like I was next. My blood pressure was
Okay, blood
almost
pressure is
gone.
what
They
I
were
meant.
waiting for me. They had expected me to like go into cardiac arrest. They couldn't believe that I hadn't already gone into cardiac arrest. Once they did bring me out, they figured I would have had brain damage. I couldn't feel anything when I did come out. They had to send me to intensive care to monitor my heart for several days just to make sure that my heart was okay. And I couldn't actually walk at that point. I think having the circulation cut off for so long made it difficult. Um, but yeah, so I have to be extremely cautious. And one of the problems I'm going to have on the trail is a lot of hiker food has powdered dairy in it. So milk is my worst allergy. I'm allergic to all dairy, all eggs, and all nuts. But dairy is the absolute worst. And in the powdered form, or if it was in like a real steamy form, it goes straight to my lungs. And then my lungs they just don't let go. They go into their own type of anaphylactic shock, and they will not let go. So I have to be cautious with when we're around the shelters where everybody's opening up their ready-made meals and their even the north sides, that's all powdered cheese that's inside that. And if we're in an enclosed space and everybody, you can kind of picture how like that powder kind of goes up in the air. Everybody's got powdered milk for their coffees. So I'm gonna have to kind of keep my distance from them when we're at hostels and stuff. I don't usually go anywhere to anybody's house because of that, right? It's difficult to be in somebody else's home unless it's like really close family and they know how to prep for us and they know what to do and what not to do when I'm in the room. So if we stay at a hostel, unless it's a private room, like if we have to, if it's a storm, or I'm probably going to clip this because somebody's going to come through. Like if it's a storm or anything like that, then I might get a private room. I'm going to clip it right here and I'll come right back. Okay, so like I was saying, so if we were to go to a hostel, um, most of the times I'm going to have to try to tent. And if I can't get a hostel where it's safe, where I can get a private room, we'd have to try to find a shuttle to a hotel room. So Faith and I are probably going to spend the majority of our time on trail and in our tent. It's just going to be the safest option. We won't be able to afford to be paying for hotels all the time and staying in a hostel
It's
where,
too high risk.
yeah, hostel's too high risk. So I'm a little bit concerned about the Smokies because I did reach out to the park and asked about, because we're supposed to stay in the shelters unless there's room, but it's not safe for me to be in a shelter because everybody's coming in, especially if the weather's bad. They're all going to cook on the picnic tables right there in the shelters, or open their snacks and bags of chips. And they said that there isn't supposed to be any food inside the shelters, but we all know that that's not how it's going to go. So we're just going to have to wing it. I'll set up my tent, and if a ranger comes by, then I'll just have to explain, show them my medications and show them everything, and just hope that hopefully the shelters are full and it was not going to be a problem anyway. Um, so that's the one thing, but I will be carrying I do carry because I also live where we live. I live outside of town, and because of my allergies being so severe, that they had put me on a thing anyway, where if I have a severe reaction, I'm supposed to use 2 EpiPens right away, and then do the protocol of another EpiPen every so many minutes after, depending on how long it's going to take you to get to the hospital. So I carry 4 EpiPens. I also carry, I at one point in time, they did have me have liquid Benadryl with the needles to give it intramuscularly, but, and I could have had prednisone that way too, but that's just too complicated to keep up with. So I just buy over the counter liquid Benadryl. I don't measure it. If I have a bad reaction, even if it's not a severe reaction, but I'm not sure how it's going to go, I just chug the liquid Benadryl and take as much as I can. And then you use the EpiPens and I'm also going to be carrying, the doctor is going to give me a 5 day at 50 milligrams of prednisone. I do often I carry that anyway, if I'm having, because of all my other autoimmune issues. If I'm in a major flare and I really think that I need help getting out of it, rather than trying to make an emergency appointment, I can just start myself on a round of prednisone. I do avoid it if I can, but I'm going to take at least 5 days worth with me on this trip. So, and then I'm also, obviously, it's going to be difficult for me to find a lot of food that I can eat. It's like where we live, I have 100 different stores that you go to, and I can get, this type of food here and this type of food here that doesn't have milk in it or eggs in it or nuts in it. And so there's going to be a little bit harder for me on the trail. So we're going to send pre-made boxes. So we're going to send out 17 boxes, and then where I have sent out the boxes, there will be places kind of in between that are going to be close to the trail where we can get a little bit of resupply to help us go on. And if I can't find anything that I can have, even though it's still not 100% safe, what we'll do is Faith will take what she can have and give me some of her food that she has left to get us through to the next box. But I can eat those. I'm sure I can have some of those tuna packets, the chicken packets. Most ramen will be safe. So I think I would be able to get by on a few those some of those things. It couldn't be my main stuff, and I couldn't count on it. So I do have to have my boxes. But so that's kind of our food plan. And then so one of the other issues, we both have asthma, but we have, it's under control. We don't have to, we're not in the emergency rooms or anything. We have inhaled steroids, and we have our rescue inhalers. So we do know how to manage that. If there were a major issue on the trail, EpiPens can bring you out of a severe attack. But we also, a lot of our asthma too, I know mine specifically too, is pretty, allergy induced. And we have environmental allergies on top of the anaphylactic allergies. And I'm always on prescription allergy medication, antihistamines. So we're both going to, and the doctor is sending her with some too for herself. So we'll both have prescription antihistamines with us, which will help with the asthma, with the allergies, and we'll just take our time. We know how to do this. We're very active to begin with, and we know how to manage our asthma. I'm not too concerned, other than the altitude, because we've never been at that altitude. So we really don't know how it's going to affect our asthma, but we're going to really take our time in Georgia in the beginning, and everything is going to be slow and steady, and let ourselves adjust to it and make sure that all of those things are okay. Um, so the other thing I have is, it's an autoimmune disorder called ankylosing spondylitis. I'm still relatively like the mild-ish, maybe bumping past the mild stage, where my spine is changing shape, and I do have some issues with my spine. I get spasms between my spine and my ribs. I get a lot of spasming. The spine gets stuck open. It's basically an autoimmune. It's another type of arthritis, and it affects the spine, and it can affect your tendons. It can affect your eyes. It can affect pretty much, there isn't much of your body that ankylosing can't affect. But for me, it's the part that is the hardest part is in my thoracic spine when I'm using my arm. So when I'm going to be using my poles, kind of it opens up and it gets kind of stuck open, and then I get severe, almost like labor pain, spasming. The only thing that kind of gets me out of that is the tens machine. Not much else will. So I have to use the tens machine on that. If I had an so we'll be bringing tens machine and the tens pads and all that stuff. If I had an issue, tens machine wasn't working or whatever, I have gotten out of it by strapping my chest really, really tight and placing something that could put pressure on it, like rocks, into the back. I went 3 days up on Lake Superior with it just strapped tight. And I think there was 6 round rocks pressing in to add pressure to those spots, and it takes away. So I do have skills and coping skills and backup plans to make that work. It means too that like I can't get cold. Like I can get cold, I can't be damp when I'm going to bed at night. I'll get stiff, isn't even is putting it mildly. It's stiff and pain, and the whole thing will like all the way from like my tailbone all the way up to the top of my head. So I have to make sure that I protect my nighttime clothes. I'm bringing a puffy jacket and the pants that go with it from Enlightened Equipment, the Torrid. And so that will be protected with everything I got. And then we bring in not just hand warmers, but when we do our hikes, it's the ones that are about double the size of the hand warmers. So they're the body warmers and they last about 18 hours. And so heat is something, it's a good therapy for people with ankylosing spondylitis. So that one lasts 18 hours. So I can like open it up early. As soon as we get to camp, put it on my SI, put it on my thoracic, the back of my neck, wherever I'm having problems, and then sleep with it. And then sometimes it's still going in the morning to help me get going. So I do have a few plans for that. Usually at home, I use the Tylenol arthritis and Advil together, and then heat therapy. Like I have my heating pad, my heating blanket, heated seats. It's all about that stuff. And we do have a large commercial pulse electromagnetic field therapy machine. Obviously, can't bring that, but so we do have some, and that makes it the thing that when we go on our week-long hikes up here on the coastal trail, the hardest part for me is at the end of the day, I'm not quite as bad when we're moving. It's when we stop and then try to get moving again, or at the end of the day at camp. I like you can't sit properly. You can't sit down. My spine will be too sore and too stiff. It's hard to get comfortable to eat sitting on a rock or a log or whatever. Even sitting in a chair, unless it's a certain chair where you kind of lean back, it's uncomfortable. So usually my options are I eat and then I go lay down in bed. That's not going to be fun for 5, 6 months, whatever we're out there for. So I am,
Especially if we have like a day off, we're not gonna want to lay in our
yeah,
tents all day.
there's only so much I can do to get comfortable, um, like at the end of the day. And I know some people too who are older, even whether they have this or not, that is something that it could end their hike because they just never get the opportunity to be comfortable unless they're laying in their tent. So I am bringing the hammock, which I'm going to do. I'll show that one. I'll probably show on the hike, or we're going to do the big three. We'll do a video with the big three, but I may include the hammock in that, or I'll show it like our first night. I'll set it up because we're not going to do like crazy miles in the beginning, so I can set it up and show it then. But that'll be my saving grace for rest days that are on the trail or shorter days or just in the evening. I can sit in the hammock to eat and still see everybody out and about and talk to people and not have to go into hibernation the second we get to camp. So that is one of our solutions to that problem. One of the other things is we're not sure how this is going to go. I was in a car accident about 4 months after we planned on doing this. We had set up this trip to be 2 years. So it was like February or March of 2024 that we picked that we would do February or March 2026. And that July, I was rear-ended. I was stopped at a stoplight, and he went to hit the brake, and instead he hit the gas. So he hit me pretty hard, and my head hit the seat, uh, and I ended up with pretty good concussion. Um, it was pretty bad in the beginning. Like it's still here. We're almost a year and a half in, and I have post concussion syndrome. But in the beginning, it was so bad that I couldn't feel my feet touch the ground. When I was walking, I couldn't feel like a pen touch the paper. My eyes every morning I would wake up and couldn't see. During the day, like my peripheral vision was crazy. Every time my foot would touch the ground, my eyesight would actually bounce along with my footsteps. There was so many things. It was crazy. So like I'm a lot better. I did develop an anxiety to go with this, and I think a lot of it had to do with this hike, because every time my symptoms would come back and something would trigger my symptoms again, I would start to panic because I had a timeline to be better, and it wasn't happening. And things like because where we go hike here, we hike up on the coastal trail, which is on rocks on the side of Lake Superior. You can't do that if you have no balance, if you have all of these things. You can't, it's not safe to do that. So we haven't even been able to do our actual like shakedown hikes. um, the only good thing is we have done long distance hiking, and we know what tents and that are things that have worked for us before. If something in what we have right now doesn't work, we know on the trail we are going to be coming into a lot of outfitters, like right at Neil's Gap, NOC, like along the way. If we have to get a shuttle to go into an outfitter, we don't care. We can fix what we need to, but we kind of do have a sense of
Yeah.
how we work together and how our equipment. So it's just technically, is that tent going to work? Now the tent that her and I use on the coastal trail is like 1 to 1.5 person.
Say, if we can work with that, we
Yeah,
can work with
like
this.
we're really, and we bought like backpacks off of Amazon, like in Canadian, they were like $60 in Canadian, and they would kind of roll on your back and top. And
It's not good.
yeah, so if we could do like the coastal trail, which is a 5 to 7 day hike on the actual coast of Lake Superior, climbing rocks and stuff like that, and then we did all kinds of crazy winds and like almost hurricane style weather. Like this equipment will be fine. If it's not, we're completely prepared to switch whatever we got to switch out along the way. It's just safety wise, it wasn't safe for me to do a shakedown hike. And now we're in northern Ontario, Canada, in the dead of winter, so it's not going to happen now either.
No.
So it is what it is. um, but my biggest concern now that I am a letter carrier for Canada Post. I've been with them almost it'll be 3 years in April. And so since the car accident, I feel my absolute best when I'm just on the street and I'm just walking in the fresh air, natural light, everything is good, and I'm just chucking along. So I'm confident with that. My concern is that the altitude can affect post concussion syndrome. It can bring back your symptoms. But from what I've seen in the videos, which I'm so grateful for other people posting their videos, because I kind of have a bit of comfort in knowing that especially in the beginning, the trails are wider. They're not like our, you know, small coastal trail where you're trying to climb over. It's not going to be like that. I'm going to have wide trails that if the altitude is affecting us, well, we're going to sit and we're going to take a break. And if I wake up in the morning and you can always tell, it almost feels like you're hungover and you can't see. My eyes get really blurry if I had a bad day the next day where it's affecting it. So then if that happens, we're just going to take the morning off, give me a chance to wake up, and then that day will make it a shorter day, even if it's just 4 miles. So we're going to take everything one day at a time, let me adjust to it, and just go from there. And then by the time we hit the whites, hopefully it'll be the trail will be my therapy, and I'll be all better. And then my brother is going to meet us at the beginning of the whites, so we will have some help through there too. And same thing, we'll just have to take our time through there if there's an issue with it. But I'm hoping that this hike will actually help. Maybe I'll come back and everything will be better. Yeah. Faith's things that she has some anxiety issues, some pretty good anxiety issues. So even if I've never really had any anxiety issues until this brain injury. Um, and but she has always, I keep saying that maybe this was for a reason so that I can have some sympathy for her. And so she said that only one of
The
us can have
rule.
a panic attack at a time,
And
and
it's
it's
never
her.
your
It's
turn.
never my turn. It'll always be her turn. I have to stay in mother mode the whole time, which is fine. Then that'll help me. Yeah, yeah. And so even like I said, I'm always grateful for other people who share their stories. And I know Tara from Tara Checks, that's what she shared, her story for her from her first hike. And if you don't know that story, check it out. Because she did, I mean, look at Tara, she ended her first attempt of through hike due to anxiety, a severe panic attack. She thought there was something wrong with her, which Faith's panic attacks, like I thought the first time she had a severe one, I thought she was in a severe asthma attack, and I thought I was going to have to call an ambulance for her, and it was an anxiety attack. And so Tara left the trail her first round, and not only did she complete the Appalachian Trail, but she went back last summer to be the fastest known person to ever do the Appalachian Trail. So it's a good lesson, and Faith knows she this is her dream, and she knows if she stops it due to anxiety or any other cause, she's going to want to go back. It'll always be there. So we're just going to plan to try to push through unless something absolutely takes us off. If I'm a bloody stump, I'll be climbing Katahdin and dragging her behind me. um, and then other than that, like there's just, because like I said, with ankylosing, I do have some tendon issues. Faith has some tendon issues with her Achilles tendon. We both have flat feet. I have urticaria. I think she's developing urticaria, and I have eczema. But we have tools for that. It's just, increasing our antihistamines. I have medications. We're going to do. We're going to be pretty strict with our stretching. And in the morning, we're going to do for our tendons, we're going to do some yin yoga, which will focus on our tendons and our joints to help get them ready. And in the mornings, we're going to start slow. Always make sure we warm up, even when we stop for lunch. So when we're restarting, you start slow, making sure we're going to be consistent with stretching at night. We're going to make sure that we're, taking all of our vitamins, make sure we're drinking our electrolytes, keeping nutrition as best we can on trail to try to stay healthy. Because too, with asthmatics too, we have to be careful with getting any flus. I know norovirus. If I get norovirus and throw up, always I end up with upper respiratory chest infection, and you don't recover as quickly. So we're going to do lots of hand washing. And like I said, we're gonna
No one touch me.
yeah, we're normally we're huggers and we're kissers, and we won't be on the trail. Well, yeah, we'll have to do we'll have to find another way to, because we just automatically, I go to hug everybody. Yeah, I have to find something else, blow everybody kisses, and yeah. But so we do have, but the things that we do have, so even though that sounds like that's a lot for us to be dealing with on the trail, we have done the coastal trail on Lake Superior is pretty rough. That was actually the first time I'd ever done a backpacking trip, was on that with my middle child. And people who were experienced hikers on there, like they couldn't believe that was what we were doing on for our first hiking trail. So we're only used to that, and it is pretty difficult. And we've done it in bad weather. We and Faith and I always stayed in a tent together. We always kind of worked as a team. We do go up there on by ourselves, just the two of us a lot. We do, so we know how to get to camp and work as a team. She'll be setting up tent, I'll be getting the water going and suppers going, and same thing with teardown. We're always, the two of us are always the first ones done and ready to go. So we have that part. I have been working for Canada Post for the past few years, and even though it wasn't 100% full time, it was a lot. So I know that I can put in, like, I'm not starting out without being physically ready. You carry your bags and your weight differently, but it's still weight, still carry, still moving, but it's not on the, like, obviously not the hills, but it's lots of stairs. And Faith, as she works with horses, she works outside all the time. She works outside here at the house. She works on other farms. She works for farrier. She's a strong farm girl. So she's done lots of this trail, and that's what we were talking about this morning. Is when we've done our other hikes on Lake Superior, the first day is always rough. Second day is, not quite as rough.
By the day, it's usually the fourth day, I feel.
Yeah, third and fourth day, we feel like we can do anything. We start to feel strong. And by the time we're finishing our hike, because it's, like I said, it's a 5 to 7 day.
By the time I'm done, I'm ready to go.
We want to turn around and go back. And actually, that was our plan for this year. Because we do it, at least we do a full length of it once a year, and then we do other parts of it like for a weekend. But our plan was to do it in both directions. So do a double run. So finish it and then turn around and go back. It'll basically a yo-yo of Lake Superior. But because of the concussion, and then because of the trial in October for the man who murdered my nephew, which is what our fundraiser is for. It's a fundraiser his parents started in honor of him. It's called Sammy's Backpacks, and we will have a video of that. That'll probably should be our next video. We'll go in with Uncle Sam and Auntie Bridget and explaining that. But that was happening in October, and like basically there was a bail hearing in July, and it has just been chaos with that the whole time, and then with dealing with my concussion, and it just wasn't going to work out that was going to happen. So we just had to take the chance, and we're going to do this hike without a shakedown hike. Yeah. Our shakedown hike is from Amiclola to Neil's Gap. That's our shakedown hike. And then when we get to Neil's Gap, we'll help them. If we need to change anything out, then we can change it out and go from there. But so I think that's but yeah, so I think we do have a lot of things going for us. I think we're gonna make it. I never use the word "this is our attempt," because it's not. This is it. This is happening. Like I said, unless you have to drag me off this trail, I'm finishing it. I'm pretty stubborn. The other thing we have going for us too is my husband and we've built our own homes a few times, and we're used to being uncomfortable. We've lived in like nothing, like in a 10 by 10 room with an outhouse and outdoor showers. And we lived in like we
did that in the winter.
Yeah, we did in the winter. Like, yeah, we've shut this house that we're in right now. We've shoveled it out. We had no roof on it. We had to shovel the snow out of the house while we were building. So we're used to being uncomfortable. We
lived in a trailer a couple times.
Yeah. We've lived in trailers while we were building, and then too, because of all of my issues that I've had stuff since birth. I have really good coping skills. I can't think of a day where I wasn't uncomfortable, in pain in some way or the other. I have some pretty good coping skills for that. So it's like mild pain or mild discomfort's not going to take me off the trail. I've come home from work in total full body spasms, and I get myself fixed up, and in the morning I'm right back to work again. So I know how to do this.
I'm unfortunately a bit of a baby.
Yeah. But you, like, on the trails, you do well. Yeah. Because we start out
complain a lot.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You'll be fine. Yeah. So anyway, so our next, I know we have a couple more videos we still want to do. We're going to do the big 3. We're going to set it up. It's winter here, like really winter. I had thought about setting up the tent outside, but
we'll just do it in the sunroom.
I think I'm just going to move some stuff around in our sunroom, or it's like basically a porch, and it'll fit in there. And so I think we'll set up the tent, because rather than do the big 3 where I just tell you what it is, I think I want to show you like all the different storage things inside, and try to show you the way we can set the doors open. And we have our backpacks, and because of our allergies too, we have to go synthetic. We can't use down. So we have our sleeping bags are pretty big. Yeah, they take up a lot of room in our backpack. And then the backpack too, I picked the backpack we have to have support. I can't use the ultralight that doesn't have the support, because if it pulls down too much on my spine, it won't go well. So this I have a framed backpack, and it It's the Osprey Asia 58, and so it has that little bit of an archway too, which will hopefully give a little bit of breathing room in there. Because if I do have to put my TENS pads on, if something's pressing on it, I think they'll just turn, and there's that much sweat, I think it'll turn to goo. They do turn to goo anyway. When I'm at work, I go through a full pair, but then throw them out. But
It's getting worse outside.
it's getting worse outside. Yeah, yeah, we're in a pretty big storm
We're
here
not going
today.
anywhere today.
No, yeah, this is definitely a home day. All the highways are closed, and this highway we're on never closes, and it's closed. Yeah, and even the back highway is closed. So this is a pretty good winter day. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be doing a video on the big three. We're going to do a video on Sammy's backpack, and we might do a video where, because we live in a border town, so I'm going to be going where we're sending our boxes. I'm going to set up a mailbox over in the US, so that if I have to ship anything back, I can just easily ship it to there and get them to put it on hold.
Have like Jessica pick it up or
Yeah,
something.
if I want somebody to pick it up. If not, we'll just pick it up when we get home. I could put a hold on it. Um, and then yeah, so and then some of the stuff, because I think like some food I can't get here that I can get over there, like the little packets of chicken and tuna, you can't get that in Canada. So I'm gonna go to the Walmart over there and see if I can get some of that stuff, and I'll throw it in our boxes. So then, because there'll be only probably certain things that I can eat. But there's quite a few that I can. There's a package that has like the beef and gravy and the meatballs and sauce, which I can add to my pasta. And so, yeah, so but I think we might take a video as we're heading over the bridge and what we find in Walmart and the post office over there, see what size boxes they have. We'll use the flat rate boxes, and then we'll go from there. So we'll do that as a video too. But anyway, thanks
Okay,
everybody.
bye.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.